We'll begin this evening with GL Homes launching a new community starting at $1.5 million. Now, at first glance, I'm like, why is this the top story? But who cares? And you were immediately saying, no. This is a big deal, and it's actually very interesting. I'm going to let you take it from here. What is it that caught your eye about this story, and why should people be interested?
I think first and foremost, let's just check out the location.
Okay.
GL's been well known for building homes along that 441.
Yeah, I was going to say State Road 7.
Yeah, State Road 7, Lyons corridor,
Right.
up and down South Florida, at least more recently.
Different
Bodies
spot.
of water, baby. Real water, like ocean water. So on the map, though, like you'll see that exactly where this is. This is in Northwood, which is West Palm Beach, in the thick of it. So check out this general area. If you look at it from, and we drove this the other day with a client who was interested. Now, Nomar doesn't officially open its doors to the public until January 31st, I believe. So 10 more days.
It's been, okay, so this is well underway.
This is hot, though, hot off the press. Like, no one really has had the opportunity to start buying property there yet. And so we drove this. We've also sent our team to go meet with the Nomar group. We know a lot of the salespeople there because they've come from other places that we've worked with. And so we've gotten filled in on progress and what's interesting. GL Homes, in this case, we're talking about billionaires, partnered with Huizenga Holdings to launch the estates because Huizenga had some traction here already, right? And so the goal here is to build roughly 100 luxury homes. Now, if you don't know who Huizenga is, he has history here. He's
the Huizenga Park, is that the same Huizenga?
Yeah, he's also the guy who was CEO or owner of Waste Management, right?
Oh,
right.
okay.
So billionaire family that also did a lot of other things. I'm saying Waste Management, but if you look into like his history and their history, they've done tons of stuff.
I was going to say, wasn't Tony Soprano in Waste Management too? I don't know what that means.
Yeah. So there you go.
I thought there was like kind of a wink nudge there. I'm like, hey, I don't.
Hey, this project's going through one way or another. You know what I mean? So the family's involved.
Right.
He's one of the families. So anyway, long story short, GL has partnered with Huizenga Group here to make this happen, and they're building about 100 luxury homes. It's also in an area where, I mean, if they're going to actually do a gated community here, they got to close off roads. Right. They got to do a lot of stuff. So it'll be really interesting to see kind of how the construction transpires there.
Is that the plan, to try to make it gated? I know a lot of their communities are, but wow.
So that there are some roads that they plan to eliminate or close off, right? So we'll see what that actually looks like. If it's actually going to be, it's not going to be, if you see something like Lotus where they have all this land to build this incredible entrance, right? You know, we've spent time at Lotus, and it's not going to be that. And that's like hundreds of homes. Brightline is in a bit of a pickle. They've been in debt for a while. They haven't really been making money. Revenue has been going up. Yeah. So Brightline's trains looks like the future when you're riding them. But the company has now deferred major bond interest payments twice, and it's tapping reserves to stay current on others. Oof. So can Brightline survive this debt calendar? Let's talk about it a little bit. So, John, what do you think?
It's fascinating to me because I've never heard anything good in regards to their finances and how Brightline has been handling things. But yet at the same time, when we were just talking a couple years ago, they opened the big expansion to Orlando. You see the maps. They want to go to Tampa next. There's a whole lot of projects. It's like, oh, we're going to go here, here, here. Next thing you know, we'll be in Las Vegas. You know, everything looked very positive. But then when you get that spreadsheet and you see everything is in the red, you're like, oh, crap. I've ridden it several times. It's very convenient. You know, friends of mine come in from out of town. They're in for a day or two. They call me at the last minute. They're in Miami. Bang, I hop on the next one and I am down there and have a great time. Like, it's really convenient in that respect. But again, this is not an everyday thing. You know, everyday riders of it. I guess you need more of them. I don't know.
Yeah. So you said Brightline's not been good at this. They have been good at hitting people.
Well, yeah,
that's that. I think people have been good at getting hit by them.
Well, right,
More
yeah.
so than
It's one of those, it's coming.
Get
It's
out of
not
the
like
way.
it's one of those that you just fall down and it's like, oh, I was just minding my own business. Next thing you know, this big yellow train just comes right by me. It's like, no, unfortunately for anyone's family, if you've lost someone in a case like that, you have my condolences, but you got to go out of your way to get hit by it. And again, when you have public transportation like that in any number of major cities, it's one of those,
happen.
It's there.
Things happen.
Like, come on, guys. Well, looks like Florida's real estate rule book is getting rewritten literally line by line. I'm sure you may have heard about this. Last week in Tallahassee, lawmakers started moving bills that decide who gets to build, who gets tax relief, and who gets stuck holding the bill when the math does not work out. Okay, great. So let's get the lawmakers involved as they're revising a storm era growth rules, fast-tracking mega blue ribbon projects, and teeing up property tax cuts for a 2026 ballot. Plus, HOA reforms with a new court option. Bottom line, Florida is deciding whether real estate runs through City Hall, the courthouse, or state law. All right, Larry, what have you heard about this one?
And so let's run through some of these.
It's a long one.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it is a long one, but we'll talk about it. So we've talked about this before, right?
Yes.
Live local.
Yes.
It's a big boy law, and it's expanding. Basically, not have to comply with the standard rules that most other builders would have to build by, if they have some affordability piece to it. And in this case, the affordability piece is 40% of the units need to earn up to 120% of the area's median income, right? Mm-hmm. So that right there is a big piece of the puzzle that is trying to address the affordability issue for housing in the area, right? Mm. And so they're trying to make changes to this, right? Basically.
Yeah.
And so they want to expand it to a degree to include land owned by counties, municipalities, and school districts. So prior to this, it was not. And if we do that, then they can improve that. So some of the things that helps developers fast track projects is like upzoning the amount of units that they can build on a parcel, maybe the setbacks, things of that nature, approvals from community, from the city, assuming so these things can all be fast tracked. We've seen communities or like counties or cities issue.
I think there was something like that in Boca going on with just public land. Yeah, I hadn't heard about it.
Now that's a land lease. Mm-hmm. So maybe this can be a part of that. I don't know. But we'll see. But so this just kind of expands that ability. It's like, hey, there's no real restriction to the type of land anymore. Let's focus on like, if we can execute on a good project in the area, let's give these developers the ability to do so at a faster pace, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Again, this limits local ability to restrict height using setbacks and step backs. Because one of the big ones is property taxes. We just blew right over that.
That's a big one.
Yeah, property taxes. Yeah. So we've gone through this a little bit before, mm-hmm. right? But the basic gist here is Ron DeSantis has been pushing to eliminate, at some level, property taxes for primary residents.
Right.
And this could be a huge game changer. Huge.
Yeah,
right?
Which when we first started talking about this about a year ago, a little more, I guess that's when Ron had initially floated the idea. My first question to you was, is this feasible? Could you actually do this? Obviously, everybody wants to pay less taxes, but to a certain extent, it's death and taxes, right?
I get the argument. You own your house.
When he explains it, it makes sense.
Why should you pay when you buy something? You pay taxes on when you buy something, but why should you keep paying taxes?
And potentially pay more just because the value of your home and property went up.
It's like unrealized value.
Yeah, that's not fair. You didn't do anything.
That's a weird thing, and that's what struck me. The bigger issue is just a combination of HOA boards, like the people who live there that live on them, and the management companies. These management companies, for me,
You've said that before. You're not a fan.
oh my gosh, I'm dealing with it right now. Let me give you a quick example. This is a today conversation. So
Okay.
you know.
All right.
And this management company better. I'm not going to name who they are, but they better. Or I hope this seller handles it because they deserve it. So they just better watch out because the seller's an attorney, and she's fired up. So basically, we're under contract. We've been on the market for 30, 60 days before this. We're very diligent about getting documentation because we know how painful and how much you HOAs suck. So we were asking 30 days goes on. No, not getting the documents we need. Sellers getting aggressive trying to get the documents from the HOA. Still not getting everything we need.
What's their reasoning for not having it?
60 days goes on. Still the same BS. Can't get a hold of the right people. This person says this. The other person says that. We're trying to get somebody to respond in writing. They're going over to the HOA office, so on and so forth. It's just a bunch of nonsense. This isn't rocket science.
Right.
It's documents. It's basic documents. God, it's so stupid. It's so freaking dumb. So we're 2 weeks into this deal right now, and we just got the new HOA application. The association approval deadline was today. Okay, but now we get the application, all right? So now we get the stupid application, which is all dumb anyway. So it's a stupid application you got to fill out. You fill out, they got, whatever, how many pages, great. I get that. Like, let's fill out an application. Let's make sure we know who's moving into our community, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Let's do a background check. Let's have some, let's have some checks and balances. Great. Fine. Let's fill that out. Let's jump online and let's just have a form online where you could just type everything
too much
in,
sense. Yeah.
and then you can hit the pay button. You can put your credit card in, and then boom, it goes off. Right? You think that's what it is, right? No. This is a document you need to fill out. You need to write it. Okay. Then you need to mail it.
Can't even fax it.
I don't know. Long story short, we don't have half these documents anyway. By the way, it's a requirement per the contract that you deliver meeting minutes to the buyer, or they have the right to back out at any time during the transaction. So this buyer's just free to do whatever they want. They've literally screwed this poor seller up so bad. And I see this all the time. This is like,
well, I know. Like I said, you've gone off on a similar tangent.
Yeah.
I know this isn't your first rodeo when it comes to management companies.
This was just an hour before I walked in here.
It just baffles me that it's like, because it's the same issue. Where are the people? What are you doing?
It's like, I don't know.
Is it a fraud?
You have
Is
to
it a
try.
scam?
You have to try to be this bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even understand how you could try, how you could be this bad. I don't even think if you were trying, you could be this bad.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make any sense to me. Zero sense. And it's not just this specific company. It's almost every single one, some version of it. Guys, get a portal. Put all your documents in it. Update it. Just leave it there for all your sellers to see. Vanderbilt University secures funding to build their West Palm Beach campus. This is big.
Yeah.
So we've been watching West Palm Beach shift, as we were talking earlier. Nice place to live, serious place to build. Now there's a new piece on board, a planned Vanderbilt campus downtown, as we've talked about, but backed by $300 million raised, but also another $250 million push. So does this lift the region or tighten the housing squeeze is the question, right? So let's get into that a little bit. So the plan calls for 300,000 square feet of campus on 7 acres along Tamarin Ave, which, by the way, just on the north side of Tamarin, as you go north from Tamarin Ave there, that area tends to get a little bit more rough.
Seeing some of the stuff when they were having the city council meetings and seeing Stephen Ross and the chancellor from Vanderbilt presenting their case on why Vanderbilt should have this satellite grad campus. and now seeing Stephen Ross, which I believe we were talking about on here last week, in right there with the Publix and all the land that it seems like they're quietly buying up, under different alias shell companies. It just seems like this Wall Street South, I'm still waiting for like some master plan to drop. You know what I mean? At some point that there's going to be like something that looks like Hudson Yards. They're like, oh yeah, we're going to put this right, next to the campus. Increased competition in Florida insurance market means lower premiums for policyholders. Wow, we have not talked about this in a while. There may actually be a bright spot, something positive on the horizon for the insurance market. Possibly. I don't know. All right. So Florida just put real numbers behind the phrase market stabilization because Citizens says most of its policyholders will see decreases averaging 8.7%, with the largest drops concentrated in South Florida. So insurance policyholders across Florida will see a reduction in premiums this year. Ron DeSantis had announced earlier this month that the Citizens Property Insurance is among the companies that will be reducing rates. So let's break down what Florida just announced on insurance, what's actually driving the change, and what it means for real estate deals.
150,000 plus are expected to see 10% or more reductions, which is kind of interesting, right?
Well, I was going to say, I guess we've gotten lucky with the hurricanes or lack thereof over the past couple of years.
But just let's take a step back for a second and just remember that insurance has gone up like 3x.
Well, I can see the chart in my head very, very vividly from just like 2 years ago.
So thank you guys for getting us to a possible 10% plus reduction, but insurance is still 3 times or 2 times more
than the national
after
average.
that.
Yeah.
So this is a good effort and this is necessary and we need to keep working at this, but it's not going back to what it once was. Also, property values are dramatically higher, so there's all these things that are affecting this. And interest rates are dramatically higher, and that affects insurance in ways as well, not necessarily described. But the big issue that Florida can control is, on some level, making it a fair playing field for insurance companies.
Yeah.